Welcome. In front of me I have the Motorola Moto G77, and I'll be going over unboxing along with a quick look at the device specifications and build quality of what Motorola has made. Okay, so let's just get straight into this. Now I do want to quickly mention that I'm in no way sponsored by Motorola or anyone else, so I can say whatever I want about this, which is pretty damn great. Anyway, getting in here, I can already see that we most likely will not be getting a charger in a box, because that's a forgotten element. Apparently we don't need to charge our phones anymore. It comes in this with this ugly case, which looks to be a little bit scuffed, but whatever. We do get a cable for now, and we have a SIM ejector on that paper little thingy thing. For a company that cares so much to not add, a charger in a box, they surely waste paper to cover up a SIM ejector in here, which every other company just kind of, makes a slit and just slides it through. But hey, I guess it's saving the planet by removing trees from it and, wrapping piece of metal in paper. Okay. Now let's rip that off and boot up the device. And let's take it off the case so we can see the bezels and also the build quality. Okay. So the device has very, and I mean really very rounded kind of corners all around. So you probably will either love it or hate it. Now, the display right here, other than the rounded corners, is 6.78 inches in size. It's an AMOLED display, 1 million colors, 120 Hz refresh rate, and a peak brightness of whopping 5,000 nits. It comes with a resolution of 1272 by 2772 pixels, with a 19.5 to 9 aspect ratio and 450 pixels per inch, covered with the Cornell Gorilla Glass 7i, Mesh Level 4. So, in general, the display right here is actually pretty good. So, nothing really bad to say here, other than I think the hardness level, the Gorilla Glass 7i is a little bit on the lower end, but this is more of a budget device, so you know what, I'm not gonna complain whatsoever about this. Already the fact that it comes with a AMOLED display and high refresh rate and apparently can get moronically bright, I'm all for that. That's already everything that I would want to see. Anyway, let's move on to the cameras. And here we have, no, Motorola, what are you doing? What is this piece of shit right here? Come on, you had one job. Do not try to fool your customers into thinking that you have triple camera setup. Come on. So anyway, this is not a real camera. I can already see that. I don't even need to check the spec sheet. I can see, as there's no lens in there. Just looks like there is. To fool any kind of retard that would think that this is a camera. And Motorola is already there, rubbing their hands and hoping that you're gonna spend money on it because you think you get more than you actually get. But anyway, what we get right here is the main sensor being 108 megapixel 1.7 aperture wide sensor, and then a measly 8 megapixels, that would be this 8 megapixel right here. That is a ultra wide 119 degree 2.2 aperture. And anyway, with those cameras, you can record videos up to 1440p at 30 frames, and 1080p gets you actually to 60, so that's nice. They actually get 60. Now at the front, we have a 32 megapixel and a hole punch, as you can see right here. And that is also a wide sensor that does also 1440 and 1080p at 30 frames. So no 60 with the selfie, unfortunately. Okay. Now let's move on to the internals. So under this eco leather that I have right here, silicone polymer, basically plastic back. That's really what it is. It just imitates leather. We have a 5200 milliampere battery under that, and it can be charged at 30 watts, which is, for this price, I would say it's okay. Nothing really like bad, but it's also nothing really great, I would say. So that's that. It comes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, Dimensity 6400 processor, and comes with 128 gigabytes of storage, or 256. Now, if I grab this, there is expandable storage. So you can go for the lower end, 128, and just pop in an SD card and you should be good to go. So that's nice to see. Okay, now moving on to the build quality. We have plastic frame, so this is all plastic back. No matter which one you go for, you have either the silicone, polymer, eco leather, which is what I have right here, which is plastic, or just straight up, I think, plastic. And we have our power button on our right side, and above that we have our volume rockers. At the top of the device we just got a Dolby Atmos branding. Now you're surely not going to be getting any kind of Dolby Atmos sound out of this one, let's be completely freaking honest. There is just speakers at the bottom. Now, as far as I'm aware, we can't really break laws of physics right now, so, you know, spatial sound can't come from nothingness in space. So this will only play Dolby Atmos as a, you know, through a single area, or possibly also the earpiece right here. But at best that would be basically like playing, you know, spatial audio on a 2.1 system, or 2.0 in this case. So you have only two speakers, top and bottom, and no matter how much you do, whatever sound will be coming, it will never be coming from above your head, as Dolby Atmos would do normally, and for instance home theater environment. But in any case, it's here for some reason. We next to that have a I believe that's a noise cancelling microphone. Then on our left side we got the SIM/SD tray that I pulled out before. At the bottom we have our Type-C charging port, another microphone, and the speaker grill. And that's about everything that there is to the phone. Now, to talk about the price, the device comes at roughly 300 euros, give or take. So where I'm from, when I checked it, it costs 1300 PLN. So that's the currency that we have right here, and it's not like, you know, egregiously overpriced or anything like that. It's solid price. It also comes with Android 16, which, if I go through the setup quickly, you'll see that Motorola, hello, there we go. Motorola is one of those companies that basically gives you bare minimum in terms of what their operating system offers, because it's not really their operating system, it's just stock Android, or as stock as they can get away with, if that makes sense. Technically, the real stock Android doesn't even come nowadays with a dialer, as far as I'm aware. So this is just coming with literally like a sprinkle of Motorola additions into it, like the Moto app right here, and some other applications in here, and some additional features in the settings. So we should have some kind of, where was it? Hell, I can't find it. But I know, oh, there we go. No, wait, that's about. They do have some kind of flair in here for, you know, just tiny bits of like Motorola additions. But all in all, you can see there is like no bloatware on this device whatsoever, if you don't count the Motorola applications. So let's see if we can actually get rid of them. Remove from folder. Nope, we can't. How about this one? Can't do that one. Can't do that one. Okay, so we can't get rid of the Motorola applications, unfortunately. But other than that, it doesn't come with any kind of crappy games. It doesn't come with Netflix, Spotify, or any other piece of shit that you'd expect from other brands that sell their devices at double the price. Now, in any case, there is, I would say, an alternative to this device that will be, I think, a little bit better priced, if I remember correctly. Let's see. There's two ones that I'm gonna check quickly. So this one would be one, and this one is the other. Price-wise, we are looking at even cheaper priced. Okay, that's great. And this one is, okay, this one is way more expensive, so I'll get rid of that one. Okay, So the phone that I would probably recommend over this one, which might not have stock Android, I'm gonna be completely like upfront with this one. It has definitely way more done to Android to make it look unique and on par with what the company's image is, rather than what we have right here, which is just stock Android. So if you're looking for that kind of very bare bones system, this will probably be one of the only phones that you can really get nowadays that has this. Other than that, maybe Pixel, but Pixel even has way more kind of added on top of their own operating system compared to what Motorola does. So if you consider that Google has a more bloated system compared to Motorola, then that kind of should explain what you're kind of getting here. But in any case, if you don't mind that it will come with some additional look to it. You can get a cheaper device that is actually better than this. So the one that I'm talking about specifically, the company name is Nothing, and they have this phone, which is more of a budget lineup that they offer, CMF Phone 2 Pro. Now, like I said, I'm in no way sponsored by anyone here, so I'm recommending this device because I genuinely think it's a pretty good one. And I'm gonna quickly run through comparison of specifications and what you get. So very quickly, in terms of battery life, we're looking at about the same kind of battery. It's only 200 milliamps smaller than what we have right here, which is not that much, but it can charge at 3 watts faster, so 33 watts. Same amount of RAM, but the biggest kind of upside will be the processor in that device. Here we have the Dimensity 6400. Now the CMF phone comes with the Dimensity 7300 Pro. So in comparison, it's basically as comparing the CMF phone comes with something that is considered as a higher shelf option. So it's something like if you look at, I don't know, maybe Samsung devices when you have the S lineup and the A lineup, right? These are like two vastly different shelves, right? But that's kind of similar. So when it comes down to processors, and they have generations. So each year, they release new ones, and then they have the tiers of them. So for instance, you have the Snapdragon 6, 7, and 8. And each one of them is kind of designed for different market. So obviously 6 would be for the low end, 7 would be for like the mid-range, and 8 is the flagship, the highest end. And here, Dimensity has the same thing. The 6000, more like, is the budget lineup, while the 7000 is more of a higher end one. So you get a faster processor in general. Now it is a little bit of a, I think, discrepancy, as this one has a newer version of a lower end processor, while the CMF phone has a higher tier version of, I think, what is now a bit like a year-old processor. But let's quickly check. So Dimensity 7300 Pro and 6400. Okay, so I'm going to be comparing it, not the Pro one. Okay, this side is crap. Let me... where is it? This one? Okay, this one. Oh, for God's sakes. Okay, so to give you quick figures of what we're looking for in terms of percentages, in terms of N22 benchmark, we are looking at 51% lead for the non-Pro version of that processor, the 7300. So not even the Pro. And that is compared to exactly this processor that is in here. Now the reason I'm showing or telling the non-Pro version is because that's kind of what Google is finding, that for some reason has a mental breakdown and trying to find the Pro versions of things that are like, the overclocked versions. But just to put that out there, the Pro version will be just a tad bit faster. It's honestly not big difference. It's going to be only like a couple percentage higher Pro to non-Pro. So honestly, these numbers here will be already pretty close to what the CMF phone can do in any case. But that was just N2210 benchmark. Now Geekbench 6 single core gets you 31% lead, while a multi-core gets you a 40% lead. So that's obviously a pretty decent jump in performance over what we have, which is on general about 40% higher. So quickly trying to check if there's anything else that I can find, but I can't. But in general, that will be a better processor. Now, another thing that it will definitely better at, which I don't even need to check, will be gaming performance. If you want to game on your phone, then the higher end one, the Dimensity 7300, will be much better in terms of just raw gaming performance compared to what we have right here. So again, that's probably going to be a better option for you. Build quality is about the same, all plastic, just like this one. And in terms of cameras, it's another standout feature. It has dual 50 megapixel wide and telephoto and 80 megapixel ultra wide that do 1080p up to 120 and 4K 30. And then the selfie does 1080p 30, which is also a 16 megapixel. So this one has a higher megapixel sensor and can record at 1440p as a selfie, but the back cameras on the CMF phone will be better. So these are probably some of the most standout kind of features. Display wise, we're looking at about the same kind of thing, with the only addition is that the CMF phone has a higher touch refresh rate. So when you're sliding through it, it tries to refresh the display much faster and more frequently to check if there has been any kind of changes. But in reality, this won't really matter that much. And also, it uses Panda glass, which has a MOSH level 5 instead of the 4 that this one has. So it supposedly has a little bit of a harder display. So a bit more scratch resistant. Now these are all kind of standout features that I would probably recommend going with the CMF phone over this one, unless you really want that very bare bones stock Android vibe that new Motorola has. If you don't and you just want to have better value for your money, a phone that is a little bit, maybe not a little bit, but decently better, then maybe that CMF phone would be a much more valuable option to you, especially when it comes on to camera performance and the processor performance. Both of them are basically on a different tier than what we get right here. So anyway, with that being said, I hope you found this very helpful, and if you did, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.